Am I the a-hole for keeping child support high? My baby daddy is furious. So, my baby daddy is ordered to pay close to $1,000 in child support a month for our 3-year-old child. Now, long story short, that amount was agreed upon during our divorce because he had a job at the time that could easily afford that. And since he left our child home alone at 17 months, I got awarded sole legal and physical custody, and he gets visitation. This all happened around the 18-month mark of our daughter's life. Fast forward 2 years, and this man has left job after job and keeps taking jobs making much less to avoid paying child support. It's been put into the system. He's even been to court and threatened with jail. Now, fast forward to a couple weeks ago, and he called me asking me about lowering the child support. He said that they would be taking $281 from him weekly and that he would be left with basically nothing. Side note, he owes over $15,000 in back pay and over $3,000 in medical expenses and still hasn't filed taxes for 2 years. He also hasn't seen our daughter in over 2 months, nor calls to check on her, etc. I've told him to just give away his rights, but he refuses. So I got frustrated with him and told him how I've been trying my hardest to keep my cool with him. But him calling me and asking me, this is making me mad. I've told him I could care less if he gets it lowered. I have a master's degree and am a Giov contractor, so I make good money. But that I would not be the one to request it be lowered. He would have to. He claims the child support office never responds to him, etc. We go back to court in May to make sure he's paying, and I know he's worried about jail. He also does struggle a lot and had to move back in with his sister because he makes basically nothing. I do feel bad that he can't get ahead because of this when I can take care of my daughter without him. But for me, it's the principle of it too. I'd be more than fine for him to relinquish his rights and remove himself from mine and her life, but he said he would a couple times then changes his mind. Am I the a-hole?
Wow, that's insane. I don't think you would be an asshole at all. If they give him jail time, then let him go to jail. He's working low paying jobs, even though he has the potential to work a higher paying one on purpose. He is choosing to be nothing in life. It's absolutely the principle. Do not lower it and don't agree to have it lowered. Actions have consequences. That money is owed to your daughter. Let the courts do whatever they want to do, but absolutely not lower it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment on what you think she should do. Let's get into the next story.
Am I the a hole for controlling my wife's free time? She says I'm toxic. My wife and I are in our early 40s with a couple kids, so our lives are pretty busy. We try our best to give each other one night a week to ourselves. Our free time to unwind or pursue solo hobbies or whatever. When the weather's nice, my wife often likes to go hiking. Sometimes with her sister, sometimes with our dog, sometimes by herself. If she's going hiking, I ask her to let me know where she's going and roughly when she'll be home. I want to know, so in case something happens, I know when to be concerned and where to start looking. She's grumbled about it a little bit before, but it's mostly never caused any issues until a couple days ago. She had her free time night on Monday and told me she was hanging out with her sister. Tuesday morning, I asked how her sister was doing and if they had fun. She told me everything was good and they had a good time hiking together. I said something like, "Hey, please remember to let me know where you're going and when you'll be home if you're going hiking." And she blew up at me. She said she's so tired of me trying to control her free time and that it's not fair of me to try and micromanage what she does and where she goes when she never does that to me. It devolved into an argument from there, and we're both still pretty annoyed about it. From my perspective, it's not about controlling her, it's about safety. She's out in the woods, sometimes after dark, sometimes by herself. She isn't always in areas with cell phone coverage. I worry if she gets hurt or lost or something else happens to her, I wouldn't have a clue where to send help, unless she tells me where she's going to be. She argues that she doesn't ask for that kind of information from me when I'm having free time, but I'm not doing activities that involve the same sort of risks. Am I the asshole for wanting to know where she is and when she'll be back when she's out hiking?
Yeah. So apparently it's a crime to know where your significant other is. I think this guy is just asking for basic communication here. I don't know if it's just me, but her reaction to this situation has me guessing whether or not she was really hiking. What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know.
My wife's family hates LGBT. I don't want them here. Am I the asshole? My wife and I have been together for about 2.5 years. Her family is very conservative and homophobic, and have been so for entirely too long, in my opinion, when they have a gay daughter. This territory is nothing new to them. She came out to them when she was 18. She is 31. She has an ex-wife that she was married to for 8 years, and they have a son together. It's truly shocking how close-minded they still are to her lifestyle. They've always been pretty cold toward me. When we were dating, it was so obvious how differently her straight sisters in their straight relationships were treated. This has always bothered me, but they live about 3 hours away, so I'm able to keep my distance and them out of my mind for the most part. My wife has accepted the way they are as just how it is, and she thinks it's worth just letting things be, in order to keep any kind of relationship with them. This dynamic has always bothered me, but things really came to a head last fall when one of her sisters got married. Her entire family was so involved with every part of the process. It was obviously such a big deal, and they were all super excited. At the wedding, my fiancé at the time was a bridesmaid at the wedding party. I was sat with the rest of the family, who did not acknowledge me, talk to me, or interact with me at all the entire time. They truly acted as if they had no idea who I was. Meanwhile, they are fawning over their straight daughter and her marriage while I'm sitting there, knowing I'm planning to marry their gay daughter in the next few months. It made me really sad and angry. I drew a line. I told my fiancé at the time that the way they acted like I was a ghost was the last straw, and that if they want to act like I don't exist, they are also dead to me. Fast forward to now, we are married. Eloped thanks to the scariness of this administration. My wife informs me that her dad and her stepmom want to come visit in a couple of weeks. They have never once visited us, and are coming because my wife's son will be on spring break. Apparently, they are planning to stay with us too. I got upset and told my wife I don't want them in my house. I hate being disrespected when I've done nothing but try my best to be a part of the family, and have just gotten rejected over and over again. I thought they would come around, but the dynamic was almost worse once we were engaged. I don't know what to do. There's no way my wife will tell them they can't come, and she's never been willing to have a conversation with them about this. I just can't imagine being forced to host them. Am I the asshole? So obviously, I knew this was an issue before we got married. Again, with the family distance and my love and commitment for her, this was not enough to not get married. I had told her my red line after her sister's wedding, which was that I would not be participating or traveling for family stuff unless something changed. So this planned visit without my input first was a bit of a shock. Since posting, I have told her that she either needs to finally have a conversation with them, ask them to stay in a hotel, or that I will leave for the weekend. After a long discussion, she has told me she'll have the conversation. So here's hoping some progress is made.
Well, sounds to me you have a wife problem. I can't imagine anything worse than having people who ignore me and hate me purely for who I am suddenly staying in my house. It's never okay to ignore your spouse's feelings and disregard their concerns. It's giving she doesn't even care. What do you think? Leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next one.